Okay, I just have started watching SmackDown again after a multiple-year hiatus. I do like the Triple H story arc. And then we had this week's Raw. While good from a storyline standpoint, as a standalone, this one had way too many no contests and way too many post-match beatdowns and pre-match beatdowns. Miz Fandango. This is kind of an awkward feud. It seems like Fandango really has nothing currently going on, and Miz really doesn't have anything going on. Ironically, Miz was one of the people who was vocal about the Triple H administration while still feuding with Fandango. He had a really solid match against Randy Orton on SmackDown, and then he has a decent match with Fandango, where again he hits the figure 3 3/4 and gets the victory. Ziggler gets attacked pretty much by the Shield beforehand, before his match against Ryback. Ryback picks up the scraps, easy victory. Okay. 3MB took on the Primetime Players, and Primetime Players on their current roll pretty much steamroll through 3MB. And I'll be honest, you can probably pick 2 people at random from the crowd and they'll beat 3MB at this point in time. I can't even recall last time they legitimately won a match. 3MB should just be called JOB and just get it done. The Triple Threat Divas match. One of the Bellas, Naomi, which is one of the Funkadactyls, and Natalya. That ended in a no contest when AJ came down. Okay. So another match that kind of gets ruined by the random run-in effect. Okay. Okay. Damien Sandow took on Rob Van Dam. Solid match. Rob Van Dam is actually doing very well. Actually, for Rob Van Dam, he is doing what he does, which is very entertaining matches. Gets the victory on Sandow. Good momentum going into the match against Alberto Del Rio. At this point in time, I think it'd be great to see him as champion. Or we'll see the more predictable route, and Ricardo will turn on Rob Van Dam, realign with Alberto Del Rio. Man. Cody Rhodes is given a very unique opportunity. Beat Randy Orton or get fired. Probably. And as always, Cody and Randy Orton have a fantastic level of chemistry. But as always, Orton defeats him, which then leaves them firing Cody Rhodes. Of course, Cody is currently going to get married, so it would make sense that he gets some time off for the wedding as well as for other things of that nature. It also would allow him to come back in a couple of weeks, perfectly refreshed, ready to come back in true face fashion and do an amazing job. Just teaming up with, probably at this point in time, it'd be Ziggler, Show, not Mark Henry, because Mark Henry's injured. So maybe even throw in The Miz, maybe even Daniel Bryan. And those would be your 5 guys who would eventually probably take on the team of, the Shield and potentially Randy Orton as well as Triple H. So you actually have a pretty solid 5-on-5 feud coming up, which would be really interesting. That's what I'm hoping they go for. I'm hoping they actually go for that 5-on-5 feel. Like the face stable and the heel stable. Stable warfare works well when done well. And they mentioned Daniel Bryan was taking on the Big Show. This is one of those show you do it or you're fired sort of scenarios. Which then ended with the Shield running for the massive beatdown. So it's they're really, really pushing for Show all of a sudden to just snap. And all of a sudden to just lay out Triple H and to lay out pretty much the majority of the Shield. And then have him get fired so then he could come back later on. So, I'm not a big fan of the matches going to no contest. Especially with it being we're going to do this, we can do the pre-match beatdown so we can keep storylines going. It makes sense from a long-term standpoint to do a lot more of those story-driven things, but to do it multiple times in a night just kind of wears on you. You know, even if they did like a backstage beatdown segment, you know, have Ziggler get beaten down by the Shield in the back, and then have somebody like, oh, your match is next. And then when Ryback's in the ring, you show the 10 count. Then you Ziggler coming towards the very end, take the last couple of moves, get pinned. You know, you can do a lot more drama than just, oh, the guy's in the ring. Jump, beat down, have your match. Or have a vicious match, oh, it's done, jump, beat down. It does kind of get that. You know, sometimes when NWO got to the point where all it was just random beatdowns. When I saw it on SmackDown, and Randy Orton spray painted no on Daniel Bryan, beautiful bookends. Spray paint yes on my truck, I spray paint no on your body. You know, it's a really great balance to it. This Raw felt a little bit too heavy-handed. Now, the CM Punk Paul Heyman bit, people are starting to complain that it takes a lot of time for these two guys to talk, but they're setting up an absolutely beautiful match that is going to be designed to really try to put Curtis Axel on that next level. The level he kind of hasn't earned yet. It's kind of being given to him. To be honest, at this point in time, I really do wish that the next Paul Heyman guy would have been somebody like a Cody Rhodes or a Kofi Kingston. Because I think one of those two guys in the Curtis Axel position would make an absolutely phenomenal match for CM Punk.